Welcome to a special episode of Fixing Matters with DJ Adam Dutch, myself, Sway, and we're joined by a special guest today. You may have seen his remixes plastered all over the great record pools, such as DJ City, VPN Supreme, Headliner, and he's a team member of DMS. Please welcome, from Washington State, DJ Fraze.
Hey, how's it going?
We always see our better days here, but I forgot to give our introduction. Sway was supposed to come to a wedding, and Fraze actually DJ'd it. So that's how you two could see each other in person, right?
Yeah.
I doubt you want to go into the stories about what happened after that night, right?
Oh, geez. Last time I saw you, we were at Fagers, and I don't remember it.
That was the after party.
Good old Fagers.
All right, Fraze. So at Fagers, I honestly thought we were there for like 10 minutes, and apparently we were there for 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, then you left.
And you went up.
You went
up at Denny's.
I had an insane night.
Yeah,
that night was.
I don't know how you catch that flight at like 6 a.m. after that.
I don't know how it happened. Yeah, I went to Denny's with the rest of the wedding party, and I ended up just throwing up in the bathroom the entire time. With one of like the wedding party people helping me out, and then apparently we walked back from Denny's, which was fairly far, at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 50 blocks, I think.
Yeah, and my flight's at like 6, and we're walking back at like 4, and I get back to the hotel, and I'm like, I call up my girlfriend, FaceTime or whatever, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take a nap and a shower, and she's like, yo, your flight's in 2 minutes, like you can't, or like 2 hours, you can't do that. I was like, no, I really can, it'll be fine. I think I did take a quick shower, and then she was like, you gotta go, and somehow I managed to check out, got an Uber. I think I got to my first flight like right as it was leaving. Don't even remember the first flight, and then worst hangover ever. I was like hungover for the next week.
See, these are the back of the good old days where people. Yeah, these are back of the good old days where people could party with each other and get drunk and shit, right?
Yeah.
So now we're dealing with stay-at-home orders and quarantines, and of course no gigs. So Fraze over there, but in the specific, what's the scene over there like? It's just all. Have they said anything about reopening at all, or is it just all shut down to further notice?
It's all shut down. Yeah, we had 1 week where it was 250 people or less, and then the week after it, everything was closed.
Yeah. We've been discussing this over the last like 3 weeks on the podcast. Like everything changes day to day, and as of right now, we're right on the border. Where I'm on the border of Delaware beaches and Maryland. So Delaware's laws are different, and they just extended it to June. Maryland's going to May 15th right now, so I'm thinking no Memorial Day this year. Delaware actually, the capital there just said no 4th of July festivities. So I'm thinking, the whole summer may be ruined. I'm seeing a lot of DJs across the country also say we'll be lucky when we have a Halloween gig this year.
Yeah.
So they said
no, summer's
for now,
canceled.
Delaware is June 1st, or did they say when in June for now?
Well, that's the anything about reopening. They keep extending the order of the mandates, and the big problem here are the out-of-staters from the tri-state where the cases are really bad coming down. Their second homes at the beach. So the people from New York, the people from Connecticut, New Jersey. And over the weekend, I saw a lot of out-of-state tags. I saw Montana here, for God's sakes.
Wow.
So I don't know. That's a rarity out here.
Yeah. You especially don't want New York really traveling down there right now. That's the scary part.
Oh yeah. One of my best friends actually came down from Manhattan like a few weeks before the whole thing. Like, really, what the hell? So they were by themselves for a while, quarantined. But they're talking about going back. I'm like, well, probably right now it's not the best idea. I'm gonna wait a little bit.
100%.
So, Fraze, let's go on a little bit biography things for people who don't know you. Kind of walk us backwards. Like, so what are you doing now, and how'd you start?
Sure. Yeah. I DJ full time, produce music, make edits. Mostly known for my remixes. I've had some big remixes played by some big artists like Tiesto, Diplo, people like that. I work on a direct music service as one of the editors, both making some original content for them, like remixes and stuff that's exclusive, but also making the intro and outros for a lot of the new tracks coming out every week.
I typed in Fraze earlier today in Serato, and I had like 3 or 4 pages worth of edits, intros, outros, remixes. Just because
Yeah,
DMS is my go-to for the
it's
most part.
funny. Like, I really like that happens, right? Like, I like that. I like to think that I'm probably in almost every DJ's computer, especially with all the edits. But sometimes I feel like if you typed in my name, say you wanted to play a Fraze remix, you're gonna find all the edits, and then you'd be like, "Oh, where's the remixes at?" Because I do like pretty much a lot of the new top 40 music on DMS for the edits, so a lot of people download them.
And how did you get involved with that? Because we've had some questionnaires from DJs for a lot of forums that we belong to about how do you start getting involved with a record pool.
Yeah, well, so it all started. So I DJ'd back in college. I had a radio show actually. Well, no, it's a local radio show there. And then after I graduated with my business degree, I was like, "Oh, this is great. Let's not use it and do music instead." So me and my roommate at the time, we saw there was a new nightclub opening downtown Tacoma, and they were doing open hiring, not for DJs, for like promoters, bartenders, stuff like that. And we went down with some like demos and like a little mixtape, and we were like, oh, we could be a promoter. Like that's how we got in the door. We were like, we could consider being promoters, but we were like, we really just would like to DJ. So I played there for a little while.
At some point, right?
Yeah, and actually we were hired as openers back then. We did eventually end up bar backing there for a while too, but yeah, the first thing we ever did there was DJ. Thanks to showing up randomly with mixtapes.
Nice.
And then after playing there for a while, really influential people we met Dibs and MGM. They do some edits and remixes and stuff. And they'd been involved with DJ City pretty heavily. And it's actually where I originally got my format for remixes back then. I've a little strayed from it by now, but they were doing this thing where I noticed in their songs, they more or less just took the originals, re-drummed them, added a build, and then a really cool drop that everyone could dance to. And it was really oriented towards the club DJ, because that's what everyone wants to hear in the club. They want to hear their original that they love, but then they want to go crazy to it for a little bit, you know? And so I was like, oh, like I'm going to imitate that style a little bit. So I started doing remixes like that, which, not to mention, they're simple and they work really well in the club, but they're also easier to make quicker because all you're really doing is a redrum plus adding a drop section. So I made some remixes and I sent them to Dibs and MGM and I said, hey, like, I know you guys are involved with DJ City. Any chance you could like send these through? And they liked my work. So they connected me to the music director at the time. And they put up some of my stuff, and that started my relationship with DJ City. And then that helps just kind of breaking into the door. You know, like once you're on one record pool, people start seeing your name, especially like DJ City is like a pretty big one. So people were like, oh, it's cool, your stuff's on there. So I started reaching out to the other pools, and people started taking my stuff. I think it's half having those connections and like already being on one that looks good. And they also liked my content. And so I did that for a couple of years, and then Direct Music Service reached out to me, and they've always been one of my like favorites. They've supported me since I started putting out my music. I've always had a good working connection with a lot of the other editors on the site, just through DJ networks, Facebook, and stuff. Like I've known Audio One for longer than I even knew what DMS was, probably. So when they invited me on to the team, I was thrilled because I think that's definitely by far my favorite site. So it's the one I wanted to be involved with, anyways.
Yeah, I just went to the Direct Music Service website. You're actually right on the front page. This was for an event about 2 days ago, but it was a
we did
live stream with DJ Spider and Drew Pierce.
Yeah, that was fun. Did you get to tune into that at all? Or?
Is that still posted? Was that like reposted after one live?
I'm actually really trying to find the video of it. I need to hit up Warren about it. But,
I'll put that in the description notes for this podcast if we can find it in time.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. It didn't seem to still be posted on Twitch, but I had a great time. That actually was probably one of my most fun sets I've ever played.
Well, yeah, me and Sway have talked about this before. We always love this record poll, especially because no matter if you need current top 40 music or you need songs from 1950s, it's on there.
Yeah, we've got it all.
Yeah, there's a lot of other record polls who do not have any throwbacks unless they're like having it matched up. And if I'm playing for an older group of people, they probably want to hear the original. But having nice remastered intro and outro in, especially for Motown. Definitely helps.
Easy to mix, sounds good. Yeah, it's really good tools for DJs for sure.
Yeah, I hear a lot of DJs complain. They're like, DMS, it's so expensive. You got to spend hundreds of dollars to get into it. And I'm like, look, if you get a membership for a whole year, it's literally the same or even less than a lot of these other pools. And
100%.
if we're playing music, we're downloading pretty much every month. It's not like you're
plus your gig income should go up once we can gig again with this amount of variety material.
Yeah. Well, whenever people say that kind of thing to me, I just like, we're a little bit more expensive than the other pools. I wouldn't say it's by a mountain or landslide, but we also do provide a really good selection of like premium content in a sense, like
if you can delete through pools and just have DMS, then you're saving.
Yeah. If you've got everything on there, then you're good. Like I did kind of like DJ City while I had that, but my issue with them is that they end up deleting their library at some point, like after it's been on for a couple of years, which means you are missing out on a lot of the back library. If you are trying to get, your 50s, 60s, music downloaded, it's going to be hard to find on there. And
what do you guys
DMS
think about the Beatport?
Everything you need.
What do you guys think about the Beatport collaboration with DJ City that they're rolling out?
It's interesting. I don't know enough about it really to fully judge it, I guess.
I'm still waiting for people to have this streaming ability that's not just title within the software.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Beatport thing either, really. Can you talk about it a little more, Sway?
So I can't remember the name of it. Oh, Beat Source, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So that's like, I think it is a streaming service. So they're going to integrate it. Either they have or they're going to integrate it with Serato. So it's like SoundCloud or Tidal.
What I've heard about it is that it's similar to all those other ones where it's great for some things, but there's not going to be any unofficial remixes. There's going to be only what they can get, which is good, but it's not a full DJ's library. Like you couldn't just use it.
So it's like Beatport, where it's tracks that you could buy on like iTunes, essentially.
Yeah.
Fraze, can you talk a little bit about the technical things about making remixes and redrums? I know you said you noticed a construction formula on some of these sites about how people were doing jobs. Just talk a little bit about how you actually go about making one of these.
Sure. And well, I mean, it's all in Ableton is what I use. And when you're doing a remix in particular, it kind of depends on how clean of a acapella you can get. If you can get, a studio acapella or a really, really clean do-it-yourself, then you have more options and you can go and you can redo all the instrumental. You can add anything you want. That's great. Sometimes though, especially if you're trying to do a brand new track that like just came out, all you can get is the original. So it depends on what you're working with, what you start with. But now when I do remixes, I am trying as much as possible to replace all of the instrumental part, just because I think that's more artistry in that. And when I'm doing that, though, I do try to keep the vibe somewhat similar to the original. Because at the end of the day, like, I really want to show myself through my work and, like, my creative input. But I also do know that my biggest audience for my work is DJs. And I know that they're not... I mean, sometimes you want to play a song that's completely a different vibe, like maybe like a tropical version of, a Kanye track. I don't know. Maybe you want to do that. But a lot of the times your audience is going to want to hear something that they relate to the original. So I try to do that a bit. But yeah, it's pretty... Other than that, you put it into the software, make sure the BPM's, right, that it lines up on the grid correctly. After that point, all the music is really, you make some form of drums or percussion to keep the beat going. Decide when you want that, when you don't. Make some pretty sounding chords or a little, melody, and that's kind of the gist of the entire thing. I mean, you make it more complicated than that, but that's the basis.
I've noticed that the poor man's redrum, I call it that because these are usually piss poor productions of whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the record pools that these are on. Yeah. But it's basically that someone just throws the original song into Ableton and then just throws a random drum loop over top with no
Yeah, you
breaks
can't
in
do
it,
that.
and no EQing. Because I did meet a well-known remixer who told me for his free jobs, he tries to take match the drum part he puts in with the original drums, and then roll off the bass of the original track so you can get the kick out. That works
Yeah.
a lot better than just not doing any EQing. It just throwing some
Oh
random
yeah.
loops in.
100%. Well, for me, like when I make especially intro and outro edits, like for the site, I use a plugin that can pretty well like create acapellas and instrumentals, and so that's where I start.
What's
Which
that
can
called?
normally,
What's that called?
it's called X Tracks.
Okay.
X Tracks stems. XTRAC, I think. But it works really great. It more or less it makes a do-it-yourself acapella and instrumental, and they're pretty darn good. Sometimes they're almost perfect. It's like magic program.
The other one that I found is Isotope RX7. I don't know if you dealt with that. It works very well for do-it-yourself acapellas, except for country music. Every country song I put on there, I don't know how they're mixing in Nashville, but there's just so much happening in the center where that lead vocal is. Yeah, I tried with a Luke Combs song last night, and like the percussion was perfect. The guitars and the vocals were hell.
Yeah.
It's like everything was just right there mixed so much. There's so much happening.
You never know what you're going to get, too. Some songs just work, and some songs just really don't.
Yeah, this one you just mentioned, the X Tracks, looks pretty similar. It looks like it's a little more simpler to use in terms of this function. But I'm definitely going to check this out because I'm going to try to get my mashup game back up.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good for trying to separate. But then also when I'm doing my intro edits and stuff, I'll use it to separate as much as possible the original kicks and snares and stuff. And then I'll pull those out and I'll EQ them and I'll like make sure that I short them down to just where the kick and the snare is. And I'll kind of use that to rebuild my like intro redrum in a sense. Sometimes that's not an option. You got to just search for samples that are like really close, but I think for doing redrums in particular, keeping your samples sounding like they fit in the song is really important, which is why you could never just grab a loop. If the song is like kind of a thuddy deep kick, you need to find a thuddy deep kick, and you need it to match. Otherwise it's going to sound really out of place.
And in terms of other equipment you're using, I noticed in the back of your video right now, you have a MIDI controller, 2 monitors. What else are you using other than just the software?
I have a Focusrite audio interface. I've got these Behringer Truth monitors, which they're actually still my intro monitors. That's what I bought when I started producing music, and I'm like really used to how they sound now. So I've kept them, but they're only like $300 a pop, I think. So eventually I could upgrade those, but for my little apartment studio, I'm not trying to go super loud, and I understand what these sound like. So
yeah, I kind of laugh when some people post like these studios in major cities where they got like a SSL Castle that's $500,000. They're saying, "Oh yeah, but I'm pump out some new tracks today." When I remember like fucking Rusko and Avicii and like Bass Nectar when they first started that whole movement, like they were making stuff on a 13-inch MacBook Pro with some headphones.
Half of those guys still write half the music, on the airplanes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the speakers. I think the speakers do matter more when you go to mix and master something. I mean, you got to kind of at least know what it sounds like. But...
Well, I also like the monitors for volume purposes. I remember I was in it was a seminar where forget my name now, Ryan Willard.
Mm-hmm.
So he was talking about the fact that he tries to have his stuff played over a major club system when the club's closed, so to see what it sound like on an actual club. So that way you actually know what it's going to sound like when you're in a packed room with people. It makes perfect sense there, by the way.
100%. Yeah, I used to do that every time. It depends on the clubs that I'm currently working at. Like some clubs that lends itself to better than others. But
that's DJ Scooter, by the way, is his DJ name.
Yeah, I love Scooter. But yeah, whenever you can, should definitely test your music where it's going to be played. Yeah.
I think Sway was talking about getting some remixes out there soon as well. How's that coming along?
I never said that.
Oh,
I'm still teaching myself Photoshop, guys.
That's true. Yeah, we're talking about some other skills that we need. Since we can't gig right now, so we're learning our skills. So Sway's doing some graphic design. Nice. I've been studying some things completely not related to music or video, just to get my mindset in other places right now because I'm getting depressed too much.
What you working on?
Cooking, for one.
Yeah? Nice. I've been cooking like crazy.
Logic games. I'm probably gonna take the LSAT again because I want to go to law school.
Nice.
That or go for my doctorate, and I do have an MBA right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just all my dreams had to do with things I was working on for years that are now shut down. Did you further notice? So that kind of defers my train a little bit.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, and if I feel a bit better if they said, okay, we're gonna be up and going by September 1st or July 30th or something like that. Just something. Yeah. Again, for all we know, and I saw this article yesterday about how some major entertainment directors on these major tours say don't expect to see any major concerts until 2021.
I've heard that. Yeah. I mean, I think once they open stuff again, everyone's been saying they're going to open in reverse. So they're first going to go back to
50 people, 100
50 people, maybe meetings of 200 people, but it's going to be like nightclubs and bars are going to be later than everything else. Like we're going to hurt for longer than your average just restaurant worker.
I mean, DJs are like the opposite of social distancing.
Exactly.
Like, social, pack the place as much as possible.
Yeah. How many people can we get in here and how close can they be?
Well, another thing we talked about that I always love bringing up because we could talk about this for 8 hours. Or what trends are we going to see happen as soon as we are able to gig again? Like what kind of how we're going to go at gig? Is it still going to be a 2 to 4 hour gig? Is it going to be headliner or opener? Is it going to be we're starting the night earlier? Are people going to listen to different music, or will they want to request the same damn songs to do every week? Like, what's going to happen?
I'm hoping that it's different music. I mean, I think a really big thing we're seeing right now is all these live streams are cool because DJs are finally playing whatever the heck they want to, which to a point means that they're introducing to a lot of people better music or, just fun music, whatever. And so I think that might change what people want to listen to when they go back to the club. Like, are people really sitting at home right now listening to, like twerk hip hop tracks?
I saw somebody post about that. They said they haven't seen any DJs go live or ratchet trap music or anything. There's a reason why.
Yeah. We're all playing like throwbacks or vibey fun stuff or, good music. Yeah.
What's in your mind, Sway?
I mean, I think we're going to have the opportunity to be more creative because those of us that are still staying in tune with everything, we're going to keep downloading music. We're going to be looking for fresh ways to make our sets fun. So it's going to be fun when it gets back because, we'll have more tools available. I mean, they're still making music. You got like these viral TikTok videos that come out all the time, and I see lots
bored in the house. I'm in the house bored.
Yeah.
Now, Fraze, how often are you going live right now?
Well, because I was telling you earlier, I just finally got this capture card, so I can use my nice Sony camera. So I've only actually been live twice so far, both on the DMS live stream. But I'm hoping to do it a little bit more often now. I don't think I'm going to make a streaming schedule or anything. I think it's going to be more like random Friday night, and I feel like DJing for half an hour. I'm just going to turn it on, and people can tune in if they want to. But I'm hoping to do it more, just for fun. I don't necessarily know that streaming is helping or hurting my career by any means, but I'm not getting paid for it, So just for fun, pretty much.
What platforms do you plan on going with then?
I was hoping to do Facebook and Instagram, but I'm looking more and more like it might be Twitch. I think Twitch is the only one that's not kicking people off right now.
Yeah, and you can stream to different places from there. Using Restream, also a lot of people are using right now. Then go to like 30 platforms. I don't know why the hell you would want to go live to 30 platforms unless you're a celebrity. That's quite a lot, but
you could.
I could see like five or six at least being useful. You got YouTube.
Yeah, the big ones.
It also helps, though, I found, if you already have a base and then you share that video to your base, whether it be a Facebook page or a record poll page or a community group, even like that. I don't know if you guys are part of that virtual happy hour Facebook page that has like 500,000 people. I've seen people share their musician friends, share their DJs just for some entertainment because people are used to having entertainment at their happy hour. It makes 100%.
sense. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of happy hour, it's interesting. I don't know about you guys, but I've been drinking a lot at home, which
Yeah, we're all turned
isn't
alcoholics.
great. I always kind of said I wasn't an alcoholic, and I said it because I could say, oh, I only drink really when I'm at the club, but I was at the club, half the week. And so I always wrote it off, though. I was like, oh,
withdrawal
I'm
now.
getting drink tickets, I might as well use them. But obviously I'll still drink if I'm just sitting at home because I'm doing it now.
Yeah, my consumption goes up the more closer it goes to summertime. Just because
Yeah.
at the beach, like some people start drinking as soon as they wake up. That's a maybe for a vacation, but there's a difference between day drinking. Like you're not going to drink old fashions while day drinking. Probably your goal is to
Why
pace
not?
yourself a little bit.
Just kidding.
No,
Yeah.
it happens.
To me, it's all about the White Claws.
Well, I usually have to make it to at least 2 a.m. with gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
pace yourself in that instance.
That's
Have
actually
you
an
guys
interesting
like
thing,
switched
too.
your sleep schedule, or are you
Yeah.
still stuck in that club lifestyle where like maybe you take a nap midday and you end up staying up till 3:30 in the morning?
I'm still staying up, but I'm noticing I'm a lot more tired. Like, because I'm like, it hits like 9, 10 o'clock or something, and then I'm in full, like, I'm gonna watch a movie or like chill mode, And so, yeah, by like midnight, I'm pretty sleepy. I'm like staying up, but I like couldn't DJ anymore. Like, I'd be asleep.
I've always been a night owl, so me staying up to 4 a.m. is no big issue. I have no reason to wake up before 11 a.m. Hardly ever. Never had a 9 to
Yeah.
5 job, so that goes out the window.
How about you, Sway?
I just picked up a 9 to 5 job, so just on a strict hourly basis, which is cool. I can work it in around my live streams and
Nice.
virtual sets. I've actually been kind of lucky. I've gotten booked for a handful of private happy hour parties with either groups of people that just want to socialize or small businesses. So I'm
That's
working
really
on
cool.
trying to make that as at least a temporary side hustle till we can get back to real venues.
Nice. Have they reached out to you, or are you reaching out to people to try to make those gigs happen?
I'm trying to be more proactive. So I'm putting some marketing material together with like just a flyer, pricing, and I can just pitch it to people that I know maybe have like a small enough company where they wouldn't mind all their employees being on Zoom at the same time. And,
That's
without
cool.
getting too hectic if everyone, has their microphone on and they're jamming out. But, I've done ones with like a dozen people connected at the same time. And it's actually a lot of fun. You almost feel like you're there and you forget that you're just playing in front of a camera.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think it'll be a challenge with like so many DJs just being live anyways? You think some people would just say, might as well go watch whoever else? Or
Yeah, I think I think number one, we all have our own fan bases. I've never
100%.
noticed, even if I had lots of friends that were streaming, that I couldn't get a decent amount of audiences on my live streams. So I think we all have our own circles that we kind
Yeah.
of stay within, which is good. And
Mhm.
when it comes to like the private parties that I'm trying to pitch, this is something that I would encourage everyone listening to, think about maybe doing is you're basically giving someone their own private experience. You tell them, give me your song request, tell me what you like. We're going to set up Zoom. Everyone's going to log in. You just chat, talk to each other. It's, a little bit more intimate than just everybody chatting on Facebook where they can't see each other on the cameras, because everyone can look at each other. And I have it set up so that I
Yeah.
can hear people talk. So if they're like, maybe they say something funny and then I jump on the mic and I, drop a line. Maybe I'm joking around with them.
Yeah.
Try to keep it fun and interactive.
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
I saw Sway's live stream the other night, that reggae set you're doing. Gives a shout outs.
We did open format. This is my second week in a row doing it, so I'm trying to do somewhat of a theme where people can expect on something. So Throwback Thursday, it's old school 80s, 90s, 2000s music, and open format Saturday, so international top 40 remixes, all that stuff. And then I just started doing Tropical Tuesdays, so starting tomorrow,
Nice.
Latin, Caribbean, all types of international vibes.
Oh,
That's
another thing
super
I
cool.
forgot to mention to you, Fraze, is that Sway has a certain niche in the country, because I don't know how it is in Seattle, but he's in D.C., where Sunday
Okay.
brunch gigs are like
Oh, yeah.
heaven there. I don't have that experience here where I live, but apparently in D.C. you can work every single week, not have an issue on brunch.
It's a religion. People don't go to church; they just go to brunch in DC.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Go home and brunch.
and I think the worst time to go live is Saturday nights. Yeah, again, as you were saying earlier, everyone else is going live at the same time. So why not
That's
do
true.
like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m.?
Yeah.
Hey, I think someone's temperature got a little fried there. Is that light? Come on, Fraze.
What?
Your video just said
Oh.
you're overheating or something. I haven't seen that before.
It's
It's this content heating up the airwaves.
all fire, right? Hey, and since I record a Zoom, I can post this on my YouTube account. That's be cool. There you are.
We're switching to this one for a
All right.
What are you live streaming to YouTube, Adam?
No, I always like editing a little bit, so I'll put it in there.
Okay. For a second, we're gonna be over here. Yeah, so I'm using my camera, which has the potential to overheat, but this was the first time I've tried this, so still trying to figure out how to use the camera for the streaming.
Yeah, I got several items on back order. I got my freaking web camera that's taken like a month and a half to get delivered. I'm still waiting on that. I guess everyone nowadays is trying to get a web camera with the situation, and probably upgrade my microphone as well. But you know, it's fun watching these DJs with different setups. You can kind of pick up new ideas just by watching how everyone sets something up, because there's not really one way to do it. You can kind of be creative.
I think
That's
that
cool.
any DJ who doesn't have any video content or audio after this would be ashamed of themselves, by the way. No matter what skill level we're at, we're all on the same boat in terms of out of work, no matter if you're working at your local shithole bar that holds 25 people, or you're in front of 25,000 people at a major festival. Everyone's not having income, and we can always try to make something. I'm getting back in the Ableton right now. I've been working on mostly my band stuff with recording, but I'm going through all my samples sometime in the next 2 days or so and filter things out. I got some new plugins, which I'm looking forward to experimenting with, and hopefully some new mashups will come out.
Did you ever set up your multi-camera angle setup for the live stream, Adam?
No, I gotta figure what I'm going to do with that, because I think I need a new capture card. Mine's a little bit older and won't connect to the iMac that I have now, so I'm gonna probably get something else.
I liked what you did for one of those blend challenges a while back, where you had a Serato screen view so people could look at like the.
Well, yeah, that was hard to do because I was editing all of that. That was all from separate feeds. So I would take my GoPro, put it as a bird shot. That was one card. Have two other cameras on the side of me. That were two other cards, and then I have my screen capture doing that. So I import all of that and then sync it all together.
That's intense.
Yeah, but the way I like doing it that way is you have more control over what you want to do. And I was also using a field recorder for my audio, not recording in Serato, because I surely love these things rather than internal software, because these won't go down on you. No pun intended.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about those venues that are hosting live streams, where like a bar or a club will allow a DJ to log into their social media account and do a live stream set on there? I think those are pretty cool.
I love that.
It's awesome. Especially a lot of them are doing like a virtual tip jar that goes to split to all the employees or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a cool deal.
Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of places have to say we have to close down until we can open back up, because the carry out and delivery is not really working out for some spots. I can see this especially for high-end restaurants, where it wasn't common for you to go there and get a burger to go. Every dish there is $25 and up. And they might as well shut the doors and call it a day to further notice.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny though. Unemployment's pretty good right now for a lot of people. I don't know exactly how it is there, but here people are getting.
If you're lucky enough to get in line and actually get it processed, seems like the system is still overloaded in a lot of these states.
I think I saw New York Times the other day. It was 5 million people filed for unemployment, which is it's insanity. I mean, we're talking about entire industries here that are devastated. Anything entertainment, anything hospitality, anything with food service. And like we're here in Maryland, And Fraze, I said if you come back out here summertime, I was going to take you on my boat, take you crabbing and everything.
I know, let's do it.
Very Eastern Shore Maryland thing to do. But I saw that all the watermen and the fishermen are involved because no one can buy their stuff. The restaurants aren't open; they're not going to be able to buy the seafood.
I was imagining that. Like, think about how much food and how many like drinks and stuff that the food and entertainment industry helps with. Like, imagine like even all the beer companies, like people are buying drinks at home, but bars are all closed. That's not great.
So, Fraze, what's your plan right now for between now and the reopening of gigging life?
Just trying to focus on production a lot. Definitely trying to start streaming a bit more just to stay relevant on the DJ front. But yeah, I mean, I just want to do music production. I mean, that's always been one of my main focuses. I mean, I've been doing like full-time DJ, but at the same time, like I work all week from home doing music production, and that doesn't really stop.
About how many edits are you doing a week?
I'm doing like 20-ish probably, but mainly like I can do the edits fairly quickly, but something like a remix is something that's I'm gonna be sitting here for a little while, working on.
Are most of the edits new music coming out, or are they refreshes?
I mainly specialize in new releases each week, mainly the top 40 kind of stuff, so like the new pop, new hip hop.
Now, have you noticed any changes in music releases because of the environment right now? Like some of these artists, I know our producers are working in studio. They don't go on tour, but in other cases, we have some superstars who tour internationally, and now they have no gigs. So are they going to be still putting out content, or?
I think so. I mean, it's interesting to see. Well, it's interesting. Like I watch Diplo right now because he's been live streaming like every day, and I kind of wonder, why isn't he like producing or whatever? Like I don't know what he's actually doing, but he definitely has time. He was saying on one of his streams the other day that the longest he's ever been home for before this was like 15 days at a time, and now he's been home for 30.
Wow. Yeah, he was touring like crazy for a while there, especially every single festival his name was on.
Everything, yeah. So like that's crazy for those kind of people that this is a lifestyle they haven't lived in forever. Like, but that gives them time, so they're putting out music. And I like all the songs right now that are coming out about the quarantine. Like there's a lot about like being far apart and stuff.
I've noticed I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I need more coffee. It's been a rough day so far.
I was actually thinking about that phrase because there's so many songs that you could do some fun wordplay with, like, throwing a house party, stay in my house.
Yeah.
You could literally make, I think, like a 1 or 2 hour mix out of all the songs. And obviously some of like, like that Tyga song that he put out a few weeks ago to really talk about the current events as well.
Oh, for sure.
Now, Fraze, I want to ask you this because this came up on some other things I've been discussing with people, but I had to do this, unfortunately, which was cancel a few of my memberships to some record pools just because of finances. Like I have zero income right now and a shitload of bills because of no gigging. So for me to be spending, I mean, last summer at one point I had 7 pools, and that was about $250 a month, I think. Between
that can add up.
So are you noticing numbers go down and some of the memberships of these pools?
I mean, talking to other people, I think that people are unsubscribing from some pools, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are staying because they're doing these live streams and stuff. And that was something I guess I was worried about right when this started a lot. But I don't think it's been as bad as I would have expected it to be. But people are canceling stuff. I mean, I canceled. I had like 3 SoundCloud premium accounts. I'm not even sure why I had 3 of them, so I canceled those.
Well, I'm surprised you're still
doing this.
I was surprised you're still using SoundCloud.
What?
I'm surprised you're still using SoundCloud. A lot of people canceled those a while ago because everything's been getting taken down.
I still have like a decent amount of followers on there, so I'm trying to keep it.
Well, my favorite was a few years ago. Cascade put a remix of One Hits Originals out, and that got taken down. So the song he wrote was flagged.
Yeah, it's ridiculous for sure. Yeah.
So I got an email from a friend who has an ASCAP license, and it said in the email that you are able to play music on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube because they have ASCAP licenses, which means that if you play music on their platform, it's the same thing as like us DJs going to a nightclub and spinning records. So
Yeah, but
what
it's
do you
not
think about that? Because it seems like they're still blocking certain songs and
well,
certain.
I think that license is like, I don't know, $1,000 or something at least. Not cheap.
Yeah.
Well, if you get it on your own, you can get one for like $300, I think, for like a whole year for just yourself. But what I'm saying is like, oh, this is what it said. It's an email from ASCAP. It says, "Thank you for contacting us. ASCAP can issue a license for live streaming, but does not license music for YouTube, Vimeo, Twitch, or Facebook, Instagram Live, since these services are already licensed." So it makes me wonder why like Facebook's still hitting these DJs.
Well, you would also have to get BMI because that's the other big pro.
Yeah, you have to have both.
Yeah, and then maybe CSAC.
Oh, really?
That's the Canadian one. Yeah,
Yeah, you can only play music that's under that
that
one.
So there could be something covered under BMI, but not ASCAP.
yes, a lot. And you can look up any song. Like I'm on ASCAP. You can look up my name and I'll pop up. And you could do that for John Mayer. You could do it for Kanye West. But if they're not on there, they're probably on BMI. There's a giant list out there.
So that's why certain artists are always like problems. Like I can never play a Jay-Z or a Bruno Mars or like Michael Jackson off the top of my head. Those are three where I get.
And you better forget about playing Taylor Swift or Garth Brooks. Those are the other two. Impossible. There's no Garth Brooks music videos on YouTube. Look them up.
Swift too, I think it's partially, whatever, they're part of their record labels, all that. But people like Taylor Swift, like they don't want it themselves, and they're like fighting to get.
Yeah, she was fighting Spotify for a while also, and her first stuff was on there,
which is crazy. I mean, you'd think they'd want the music out there.
Like, are they really going to lose that much money? I mean, I guess maybe people buy the album because they can't stream it. Is the rationale?
I don't know. I think the issue with Facebook and stuff like that, though, is that maybe officially it would make sense that DJs could be playing that music. But I think that the algorithm that's pulling down the videos is just thinking about it like any live stream by any random person, or like it as a song and just video content, which I don't know if that's covered under that kind of license. So maybe if like Facebook knew that you were a DJ, they could keep you on while they think maybe you're just playing a video game and have a song in the background that they don't want on it. Like, I don't know if they know the difference.
Now, Fraze, I've heard this from some people, not really involved in polls, but more production houses and stuff. Yeah. But you being at a pretty big record pool, have you had any studios or labels actually give you guys like clean acapellas off tracks?
Yeah, it happens. We do get some, but it's not like an unlimited supply. Like that'd be cool.
All right, because I've heard various things like they would give it out, but it would be like a few like milli BPMs off, like 0.50, so you're in between, so you can't really sync it. I've heard that I've actually had it, so I just asked some artists for it. They gave it to me. It wasn't Ariana Grande, but it was at least just asking around.
Yeah, there's certain artists that are more down with it. Like, I don't know. There's people that love remixes of their stuff. Like, I feel like the Chainsmokers, like they're down probably.
Well, in dance music, like remixes as part of the culture, just like hip hop.
Exactly. Like people like them, they're down for like that. That's what they want. But like some of the more like pop artist people are like a little bit like, oh, this is my music, and no one's touching it. But
yeah, well, this is probably a prime time for be able to do stuff like this while we're got more time in our hands and kind of experiment with some new stuff. I'm just waiting for like everybody be putting out stuff, and then we have hundreds of new material out. Hopefully, it's actually good on some of these other places that I download music from. Because some of these places I look at 10 songs, and I may have one that I can use.
That's the trick with all new music. Like, because I go through a lot of new music because I see a lot of the new stuff that's being put out, and like it's new, and even some of them are like new by big artists. Like Tyga will drop another track every 3 days.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that any of those songs will take off or be
Well,
successful.
same with Jason Derulo. Like he was putting out a new song like every 2 weeks, and like
yeah,
I wouldn't get a request for them at all. And, like they're like early night songs,
yeah,
and like they all sound the same, so it wasn't anything special. And I just it's quality over quantity. I think.
yeah.
I think
For
it's Swallow.
sure.
That song came out like I played it like 2 times and called it a day on it.
That one took off a bit, at least
Mhm.
around here. But yeah, and I don't know. There's just so much new music constantly, and there's so many new artists constantly. Like every other day, there's a new Lil someone, and it's almost hard to keep track. Like crazy.
Are there any artists like you just always look forward to new releases from them, or any producers or anything like that?
I'm a little obsessed with the Chainsmokers, so if
Mhm.
they put out anything new, I get excited. But I don't know. I like Justin Timberlake's stuff's pretty good when I see his name pop up.
I like that song. Who was it? Was it? I think him and SZA did a collab.
Yeah, I think they have.
That was
Yeah.
that was pretty smooth. It was kind of like a new age R&B vibe to it.
Yeah.
I'm also going the route of trying to fill some voids that I see on some of these polls. Like rock music, of course, has been neglected constantly.
Mhm.
That's new rock music. And
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of country remixes out there just because it's difficult. And country music fans are sometimes purists. However, we know we
They
need
don't
country.
want it.
Yeah, but we also need country music in the club at times when these drunk girls come in and they want to hear the Miranda Lambert, they want to hear the Shania Twain, they want to hear
Yeah.
Little Big Towns, and you can't always play the radio edit. There's a few hundred people in there.
Yep. No, that makes sense. There's definitely like some of them, like Miranda Lambert, like some of their stuff edges on pop. Like, there's some country music that almost isn't just country music anymore, but
It's just pop music with country instruments. That's what
yeah,
it's called.
exactly. Yeah. I use Country DJ Pool, which I think is part of iDJ Pool.
Yeah, I use that as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot. They're mostly the radio edits, but I will go into this. They have radio songs that are on no other pools. Like you can get
Yeah.
indie music on there, and you can get like more B-side pop music. Like I love Marky Basie, and
Yeah.
he's like a medium artist, but his stuff's soulful. It has a great vibes, great rhythms, but he's not everywhere on the radio.
Yeah.
So Adam, where do you get rock music, like current stuff that
Country DJ Pool, they have it.
Wow.
Yeah, they have new 3 Days Grace, new Papa Roach.
Yeah.
I think Pearl Jam just came out with a new song. So I won't play these songs every week at a gig, obviously. But when I have if I have a listening crowd, and I do have crowds here at the beach that want rock music. Like I could play rock music for 3 hours and not have an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good pool. It's interesting because there's not very many country DJs out here in Seattle. Probably it's just not that popular. There's like maybe 3 or 4 decent country bars in the whole like state. I feel like I could be wrong about that, but like for nice big ones, because I do every Thursday at Steel Creek in Tacoma, which is in my mind the nicest country bar in the state.
So do you guys have like this? I know it's been almost 30 years now, but like this post-grunge movement where people are still asking for the grunge stuff and like even post-grunge, like Puddle of Mud.
Yeah, pretty much, like play any like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, anything like that here, people are going to go a little bit crazy.
Well, I imagine it'd be some tourists also. They're coming there, look at like Kurt Cobain's Childhood Home or something like that, and then they go to a club and want to hear about a girl or something like that.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I mean, it's probably the same everywhere, that's what like people want to hear that stuff in the bar and stuff, but if you go to any of the big clubs around here, they just want to hear the newest hip hop they possibly can, which is fine. But
well, you guys think patrons will be any nicer and polite to DJs once this is all over? Like, are they actually going to be thankful that they're in the club and not just come in entitled?
I bet it'll be worse.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be worse also because people are getting pissed off. They're pissed off that they had to deal with this shit for so long, and they don't give a fuck about us. Honestly, when have you ever seen a non-DJ post something about respect the DJ?
Never.
Yeah, never. They don't care. I know. I don't want to hear this also because I get argued with people all the time at clubs. Like people who are disrespectful, I usually ask them to fucking leave, and I'll tell them to go somewhere else. I don't care. And I do this at places where I have a relationship with the management and owners, by the way. I probably wouldn't do it on the first night at spots. But the staff does have my back at places. I had an incident over the summertime where someone came in really, really intoxicated. They were doing stuff on the stage that they shouldn't have done that was against safety things. I asked them to get off. Their friends were there. I had the friends try to help them get off, and they still would act up. So I said, well, you can either listen to me or get out. And they said, I don't care. So got security to get them out. They spent 20 minutes outside Argo security. So I said, well, who, I guess
wash your
hands.
Wrong at that point. At that point.
Yeah. So, Fraze, do you have any like cool stories or sad stories or anything where you have to get really mean with somebody? At like any request?
I don't know. I'm a very polite person. I don't tend to. I don't know. I don't tend to really get mean at anyone in the club, really. But so no, I don't know. I don't really have any stories, unfortunately.
So, yeah, Fraze, what would be your go-to like response if someone's saying like you have to play such and such song, or it's something that's like a terrible request, but they're trying to force you into whatever it is they want?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I've been like tough with people, I guess. Like I'd be like, oh, like you got to play this, and I'll be like, no, I don't have to. Or like a lot of the times I'll be like, especially if like the rest of the crowd's dancing or whatever, it's kind of like, obviously I'm doing fine. Like,
Well, my favorite was Sway had a story about one of our friends who got pepper sprayed by some girl a few months ago. Yeah, she ended up in handcuffs, luckily.
Yeah. Or I mean, sometimes I'll just tell people, like, I mean, that's not going to work here. And people will be like, oh, come on, just do it. And it's like, I don't want to lose my job, pretty much. Like playing that would be a mistake. And, like I wouldn't come to your place of work and tell you what to do. And, I want to do a good job for my patrons here as well as the bar owners. And the bar owners are going to hate this and everyone's going to stop dancing. So, no.
There's almost so much you could say then, right? Honesty is sometimes always best.
Yeah. And I'll say that kind of forcefully because they're drunk and crazy. But, like, I'm only telling them the truth. I'm not saying I don't want to play that because I don't want to. I'm saying I don't want to play that because it's not going to work. I don't know.
Yeah, just hope they're sober enough to understand reason and basic.
Yeah, they probably aren't.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Sway?
No, I don't have any.
Fraze, what do you want to plug? No, you mentioned the record polls earlier, but where can people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me Instagram. It's Fraze. Most of my handles are ITSFRAZE. You'll follow me on Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud. And follow along. I'm always posting music, interacting with people. Definitely check out Direct Music Service. It's a great site if you're a DJ.
I'm going to renew
everyone plays my music.
Yeah, I'm going to renew my DMS subscription as soon as I can because I haven't been a member since September. I always get around April for my summer gigs.
Yeah.
So now's about the time to start getting my library back up. Yeah, and I was telling Sway a few weeks ago I have a gig hopefully coming up this summer where it's a bunch of boomers who love classic rock music, and they ask for the most obscure classic rock possible, and we'll dance to it. So I got to build my library on that of stuff that I never play, like fucking Kansas, Carry On My Wayward Son. I need a good version of that.
It'll probably be a fun set, though.
Yeah, it's not in 4/4, but I'll make it work.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.